So we have a basic chord progression and then this rough melody that's on the horn lines. Now, what will work well is to start building up what we want our rhythm to be. This way, we can lock the motif closely to this for a more powerful piece. Plus, this rhythm will become the driving force and pace of it. And there's a couple of ways that we can go about this. First, let's lay down some big hits. And you want these to be quite dynamic. So for this, I'm going to be using a big impact drum instrument like Damage. I love this patch over here. This is called the Percussion Studio Armageddon Ensemble. And this has some really big impact sounds. But also, if you play softly, it has these sort of brush inflections. And on this patch, I've actually dialed down the room and hall. So the close mic is more what you hear. And then on the track, I've inserted 2 bus reverbs. So for example, if I enable bus 2, you get that bigger sound. So I've used 1 short reverb and 1 long reverb. And by combining these types of reverbs throughout your instruments, you get this big coherent sound. But I will go through the delays more in detail. I just want to let you know that I've set the instrument quite dry using the close mics and then am applying my own reverb. Okay, so let's record in some big hits. I'm going to start recording at bar 3, but it's going to pick up that rising note there and then the drums are going to come in. Okay, so let's record this in. Okay, that's sort of a rough idea. I just want to get those big hits and then also those brush notes. And just to help even things out, let's just select it and quantize it. And then slightly bring back the strength so you get a bit more of the humanization feel for that drum part. And what works pretty well is to also layer up your percussion hits. So on this track here, I've got an instance of Native Instruments Action Strikes. And this has got some really cool hits in this. So here are the hits that I want to use. Just some sort of lower, flatter, rounder sounding toms. So the combination of these different drums is going to add a different tonal quality to the percussion. On this action strike hits, I just wanted to accent the main hits. So let's record this in. There were some messy bits in here, so let's just take a listen back. First, I just want to take these and quantize them. And now let's just quickly take a listen to both of these together. Maybe I don't want to see all of that, so just this. There, so that's just messing up there. Maybe just to fix that up, I'm just going to quickly just steal a bar over here. Just for demonstrations here, just to get it done. And this bar as well. Let's take another bar and just grab that. Normally I would spend a bit more time getting this right, but I just want to show you how to get this done quickly. And then now for these hits. Sounding good? That one's a bit early there. Cool. That's sounding pretty good with those 2 sort of big impact drums. And another reason why I've added these accented big hits is because these are going to be accompanied and layered with some staccato brass pieces. So this with some staccato brass is really just going to give some extra impact later. And you'll hear later how these reinforce the power of the composition. Now, what also works pretty well is to use some timps on these. And what's great about timps is that they have a percussive impact sound, plus they have a tonal quality. So these timps will be following the chord progression. So that chord progression starts in A minor. Yeah, let's record that in. Yeah, just quantize that. That's sounding pretty good. And next up, let's look at some tiekos. And these are just a great Eastern instrument that just gives a different flavor, and layered together with other drums really will just give a full impact sound. And what I like about these tiekos in Action Strikes is that it's a pattern-based instrument. So if I play it, you can see it's just cycling through these different patterns. So if you just check here, you got this pattern, play another pattern, play another pattern. So it's just a great way of just getting quick, fast ideas down for your percussion ideas. So these can just really help in the composition phase. So I'm going to be playing in these patterns. And you can see that that's C5. And then on E2, it's got that drum roll. So I want to just first record the patterns in and then record the rolls in. So here we go. And they're a bit out of sync there, so let's just quantize them. You can see there's some differences in the notes. And I want the roll, so I'm just going to scroll down. I think it's on E2, and I can draw these MIDI notes in. Where's E2 here? So check this out. And then just place this here again. Yeah, there. So I'm just going to place it every 2 bars. And another one on the end here. Take a listen now. And just to this percussion. That's great. And with the other percussion now. That's awesome. That's really working well. It's giving a sort of push and pace to it with that pattern-based tieko pattern. Now, what also works pretty well are other types of materials, such as metals. On this patch over here, I've got some metal sounds from Native Instruments Damage. And this is in the Metal Menu 1. So this is a hero, and he or she is probably going to have a weapon like a sword. So what better way of giving this impression than to use some metals that sound like swords clashing? Okay, so let's go and record this in. That's pretty cool. Quantize those. That looks good. Now next, onto some snares. And this is a field or marching type style of snare. This instrument is really punchy and can give a really nice rhythm to the percussion. So this is going to be this snare over here. Let's first record in the single hit snares. And then next, we'll record the snare rolls. Let's see how this goes. It was a bit messy, but I must say from about bar 7 I was pretty happy with. So I'm going to cheat a bit and just take these, remove them, copy these across. Cool. So now to record in the rolls, which is something like this. That's pretty cool. Just double check that everything's quantized. And there we go with our snare rolls. And to finish off, let's add in some cymbal swells or crash swells. And this helps to build up or emphasize into a part. So it's great to add these maybe every 4 bars, just building in to where there's going to be that big hit in the section. And on this track, I'm using an instrument called Cymbal Rolls by Creme de la Loops. And it's a great crash swell or cymbal swell instrument, as you can use your mod wheel to ride in and create these swells. For example, like this. See, I'm using the mod wheel there, and as I release, it releases out that crash swell. So I want to do a crash swell on bar 3 and bar 7. But let's give a bit of a lead in so we can do this. The volume's a bit soft, so let's raise this up and take a listen just to the percussion and see how that's feeling. Maybe to get it just a bit more smoother, let's draw it in. So this is the maximum amount of the modulation. And you want that to reach just before. So you got this. That's much better. And the same for this one. Let me just pull them back a bit and pull this up. In the context with the rest of the percussion and the track. Maybe what will help is just to hold these a bit longer and tail the modulation down. That's cool. That one's a bit long. So let's just go in and take that out a bit. Maybe just move these things. Cool. Listen one more time. Awesome. So that's how to build up your percussion for your epic heroic tracks. You can add some high impact instruments which have some really big hits, and then complement that with some metals or other materials, plus adding some timbres to give a tonal quality, and snares and pattern based instruments to give some extra pace and rhythm. And don't forget that you can use your crash swells to help you build up and transition into different sections.